Hi everyone, I hope y'all are doing okay. Boy, it has been a long week of hanging out at home and not being able to go anywhere, and I hope you all are doing okay. And I hope you enjoy today's art project. Today we are going to be doing painted nightscapes. We're going to do our painted nightscapes on any rock that you might find. So hopefully you've been able to get out a little bit, maybe go for some walks. You can use any kind of rock to do your painting on. We want something fairly smooth as our canvas, and I will show you how it's done. All right, so the first thing that Isla and I are starting with, we went for a little walk. Isla went down to the river. We were lucky enough to have those here in Montana, and mine I just found on the side of the road the other day, right? So the first thing we did was we painted our rocks white. So you can use any kind of a gesso or a white paint. Acrylic is best. You don't want to use tempera and you don't want to use oil, but any kind of a nice thick white paint. We painted our rocks and then we dried them, and so now we are ready to go. So this project actually consists of only 3 colors. So hopefully you guys have at least 3 colors, black, white, and then whatever your sky color is going to be. So as I showed you, my sky was kind of like a night sky, and Isla did one here that was more of like it looks like an African sunset, or like a desert sunset there, where she used oranges and pinks. But again, black and white were our key colors in this project. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get my sort of medium to large size brush. I'm going to dip it in some water here, and I'm going to go right into whatever color I choose. And so, as I said, Isla's was kind of sunsetty colors for her last project. Mine was blue. Today I'm using this nice phthalo green color. It's kind of like a bluish greenish, I don't know, it's one of my favorite color greens. And so I just want to get my whole rock painted, and I want to be pretty thin with my paint because it's going to need to dry before I can go into my next steps. So I'm just going to kind of paint all around my rock, keeping the top of my rock a little bit darker, but again, my layer's nice and thin. All my students always know that I say keep it thin because we need it to dry before next year, right? So I'm going to clean off my brush, and my rock is all covered in that one color. Now, while my paint is wet, and you'll see Isla's already going into hers, I am going to just dip that same paintbrush into my white, and I'm going to start from the bottom to create my fade. Now, in a skyscape, when the sun sets or the moon sets, or just however the sky is, your lightest part is always going to be down by your horizon. Typically speaking, of course, if you have a full moon or something, it's different. But for this type of a skyscape, we want our lightest part to be down by the bottom. And I'm just going to kind of gently create a fade going up. And it's as simple as that. So as you guys can see, I've got a nice sort of a light green there, goes into a medium green, goes into my dark green right up top. And let's see, we're just trying to keep you guys in focus here, and I'll have pictures of this at the end of the video. Okay, so now we have Isla's here. She's kind of doing like a black and white scape. So she's got her lightest at the bottom, her darkest gray at the top, there. And again, we'll have pictures of hers at the end of our segment. And so now, as you can see, I've got a hairdryer here. Now, if you don't have a hairdryer at home, just go for a walk or have a snack or read a book or something, and wait for your rock to dry. But it's really important to get it very, very dry. So we're gonna do a little drying. Done. That's it. A nice hot hair dryer pretty much gets the job done. Okay, so the next part is really fun. So what I want you guys to do, if you have a nice stiff bristly brush or even a toothbrush would work. Not the one that you use for your teeth, right? It's got to be an old one. Make sure that that mom and dad and grandma and granddad say, yeah, this toothbrush is okay to use. So what we want to do is get that real sort of bristly brush, one where you can kind of hear it making like a little like a bristly sound. And we're going to splatter in some stars. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to dip our bristly brush into our water. And it's okay if our water is a little bit murky. And we want to get a nice sort of a watery consistency with our white paint. And so once it's kind of not too thick, not too thin, this is really fun, you guys. You want to take your fingers and you want to splatter your stars on your skyscape. And there goes my telephone. I don't know who that is, but we're just going to let it go. I hope it's nothing important. Maybe they're calling in to ask me how to splatter their rock. Maybe they're watching right now. That would be pretty crazy. And so I'm splattering, splattering, splattering. And I've got some stars. Isla's got some really cool stars too. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I've got some stars splattered on my skyscape. If I pull out a little bit, maybe if I go in a little bit, there we go. And that's a real easy way to make like a Milky Way or kind of those nebulas that exist in outer space. And Isla's actually got some really cool ones going there too. So now I am going to go in for my final touch. My final touch, I'm going to grab a brush. A nice flat one works good because you can go either long ways with it or you can go flat ways with it. I'm going to go right into my black. And Isla's already going into her black over on her project there. And so I'm going to just start painting my rock. And I'm going to go long ways to kind of make my trees here. And I live out and we have lots and lots of evergreen trees where we live. So we've got those surrounded all over the place. Now, if you live in a city or if you live in a place where you have more deciduous trees, big bushy trees with lots of leaves that bloom in the spring and fall in the autumn, you can try to make your silhouette of those kind of trees. So right now I'm kind of making more of like that sort of western, northwestern, landscape with our trees there. And so I'm going to put my rock back down here. And I've got a little bit more black paint up in here. And I am just about done. One last thing, as we're finishing up our rockscape, if you would like to, you can always grab a really, really thin brush and put in more detail. So right now, as you can see, my trees are pretty stylized, but if I really wanted to, I could go in and put in some little leaves and branches, always keeping a silhouette though. That really, we don't need any detail. We're gonna keep it all black because at night, really, that's all you can see, right? Are like shadows and the darkness of the shapes that are up against your night sky. And so I'm just gonna put in some little branches here on my last little trees. And I am just about done. How about you, Isla?
Yep, I'm done.
She's about done. Now, the cool thing about this project, we did this real quick, but in your night sky, I don't know, maybe there's a UFO. Maybe there's a full moon up in there. Maybe there's an owl, a silhouette of an owl. The silhouette of, oh, wait till you guys see what Isla's got. There might be shooting stars, anything. I want to give a shout out to Emerson in North Carolina and to Molly in Montana, who showed me their beautiful artwork this past week of thumbprint animals. And so I hope to see what you guys have created this past week as well. I would love to see what your nightscapes look like. I'm going to show you Isla's real quick as she's got her last finishing touch, and that's really awesome. Oh my gosh. Every day is Halloween here in our house, so we've got some headstones and a full moon and all that other cool spooky stuff. So I hope you guys liked this project today. We're gonna try to get some more out to you as you are hanging at home and hopefully keeping up with your lessons and your studies and just enjoying some time at home. So I hope to see you guys again real soon within the week. Keep busy and have a great week, you guys.